Hello everyone, welcome in. Hi, I'm Chef Jay Tay. Happy to see all of you. What's new? What's happening? Happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day. What you be doing? What be new? Welcome in there, Nan Reader. Hello, Well Poker. Welcome, JK. 4T. And welcome, Soph. Overlays still probably giving us... Yeah, overlays don't seem to be working still, despite my efforts. A lot of other stuff is working tonight, though. We do have the scramble back tonight. We have some other things going. We're doing root beer tonight. Hey, they can see me. We're doing root beer, and we're going to be doing braised chicken. Going to be doing root beer battered cauliflower with some curry powder in there, garlic, and take that a little more savory. The sugar, I'm wondering what the sugars are going to do there. I haven't used this as a frying liquid in a batter. It could go dark. We'll see. I've got some potatoes to roast separately from that just to give us a starch with all of that, as if the pre-made brioche buns I'm going to use for the chicken sandwiches wasn't enough starch. And then for dessert, going to be doing proper, well, I don't know if proper, because I don't have the proper mug for it. I don't have a heavy-duty mug. But I'm going to do a root beer milkshake. But I'm going to do an adult root beer milkshake and add some Jägermeister. Because apparently adding Jägermeister to root beer gives it that old school hard candy root beer flavor. I'm taking a shot drink and turning it into like a milk float. We'll see if this scales. All right, let's make some coffee. Hi, John Ray. They do have, I actually looked for it tonight. I was considering doing another dish, but I decided financially it was not the best plan. And that was, and I couldn't find the ingredient for it anyways, was I was looking for root beer extract, which does exist. Much like vanilla or lemon or almond or hazelnut extract. There is sarsaparilla or root beer extracts out there. Might have to order them online, but I was thinking of doing root beer caramel corn for also dinner tonight. Nice. Yeah, the store that I went to today for a couple things that I grabbed, actually the two stores that I went to today, one was a little bit more fresh orientated and not the type of place for that sort of stuff. And if they have it, it's typically way overpriced because they sell the fresh stuff. And the other one I went to does not have the most glorious selection. There's better options locally that might have it for me, especially if I went into like a specialty store or a national store or something like that, but not tonight. bot doesn't have info from the calendar to tell what the dinner command is on ingredient challenge nights. I've been working on improving it, what it says, without having information. I spent most of the day trying to fight it, trying to put, for some reason, different octopus dishes in the dinner command. Takeout pizza today. The school has teamed up with them for fundraiser pizza. Nice. What kind of takeout pizza? There's all sorts. That could be amazing, or it could be horrific. Oh, hush, you kettle. It's a Canadian chain. Pretty good. It is pepperoni and a pesto veggie. Pesto is one of the next potential ingredient challenges for next week. It's pesto versus ketchup for next week in the Discord if you'd like to have your say. The vote was put up earlier today. I wish I could see YouTube chat right now. It doesn't seem to want to show YouTube chat to me hardly ever. Need to find a new solution for my chat viewing on stream now that I've ditched, for the most part, StreamerBot. Right now, I'm not opposed to putting StreamerBot back for its chat abilities and a few other things. But right now, I sort of want to run without it entirely, just to make sure that the bot is running properly without it. Just a word of warning, I am doing my chicken Alfredo on Friday from half and half and not from heavy cream. I'm sorry if that offends anyone. I understand. I just didn't feel like buying an extra bottle of heavy cream. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I hope you've had a wonderful start to your week. Cheers. Wow, everything's all out of place over here. I'm relatively sure that vanilla has, at least at some point. I don't know if specifically vanilla bean has been, but I'm pretty certain that I've done vanilla before. So where are we starting with things for tonight with everything else? We got that sort of last minute. Let's get our chicken going. We need chicken going here first. So let's clean up our boneless, skinless chicken thighs that I bought for this project. I have noticed that with the prices going up, all of a sudden breast meat is more expensive again. Or at least it was for today. I bought 2 packages of meat that were roughly the same weight. And the price per pound should tell you this, obviously, but about $5 more for the boneless, skinless breast versus the boneless, skinless thigh. I would have bought a whole bird, but they didn't have any ones. I'm feeling up my meat for bone chips. There's often, I say this every time I do pre-cut chicken thighs, but there's always bone chips on pre-cut chicken thighs. I've already pulled 2 or 3 of them off of here just with my fingers. But there's usually some that are still attached too. I've so far lucked out without any that I felt attached. Pretty good for that many of thighs that only really have 1 or 2 chips there. But I still don't want them. I do apologize for the check-ins not showing properly on screen. I can check and see, make sure we're getting actual data to the bot. I think we are. So you should be getting your sprinkles. Everyone should be actually getting a whole bunch of extra sprinkles now because I've improved my viewer tracking both on and off stream for VOD viewing and stream viewing. So what do we season all of these with? Salt and lots of pepper and MSG, I think, is a good start. I think we need to dry these all off first, so they're way too moist.
Hi, Pauline. Welcome in. Raise a swim. Raiders, Raiders, Raiders. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Pauline. Pauline. We greatly appreciate the raid. What have you been up to tonight? I apologize, my overlays are a little funky right now. I'm in between overlay setups. Working with root beer tonight. Every Wednesday I do an ingredient challenge. We vote on a new ingredient in Discord. Next week's is between pesto and ketchup. And then I use that ingredient, both savory and sweet. Tonight's dinner I'm going to be doing root beer. And so I'm going to be doing this is a boneless, skinless thigh chicken meat underneath this paper here. I am going to be braising this until it falls apart with root beer, Fireball whiskey, and lots of ginger, giving us lots of heat and spice without like peppers. And that's going to be on some buns with deep fried root beer battered cauliflower, curry cauliflower, some roast taters, and I'm going to be doing root beer float with ice cream and all that good stuff. Root beer float, I'm going to be doing an adult root beer float with a little bit of Jaeger in there, just to give it a shot, because I'm trying to scale up a bar shot that includes root beer and Jaeger that tastes like an old school root beer candy into float. Soup dumpling lasagna. So you made you made soup dumplings and then you made lasagna with the soup dumplings in them? I am very much intrigued. I'm glad that it turned out. Alright, so now that we've dried off our boneless, skinless thighs, we'll get back to trying to season these. MSG to start. Pepper. Going really heavy with the pepper in this too. I normally go heavy with the pepper. The people that watch me normally, I'm really going heavy with the pepper in this chicken tonight. That's just the start. That's sort of like the fourth spice in there with this project. Garlic, where are the... Layer the filling in wonton. Layer the filling in wonton wrapper. Okay. Onion. And I have a new container of paprika. He says, knowing what he's written in the Discord recently. By the way, Lesson du Jour seems to be cooperating lately. We seem to be having unique stories being reposted once again. We had Leah Perkins tonight, or this morning. Get out of here, Seal. Thank you so much for the raid. I greatly appreciate sharing the community. I hope you have a great night. Thank you. Let's get a pan heating while we're doing this. And then our fresh new paprika. Plenty of oil in that pan, so that's hopefully going to give us a decent sear on these. Ooh. Reza Swim just inched out there. What's going on, bot? Memory and CPU seem okay on you. What's... There we go. Maybe just a delay. I don't know what's going on there. Fans on, lights on. Pan's got some nice warm sunflower oil in there, using organic sunflower oil. Why do I have that linked to silly browser? That works for that, but what happened to the rest? What are you doing to me, browser? Oh, you're hiding my OBS without me even realizing it. That's what you're doing, silly browser. Why are you doing silly things like that? Let's try that again. I'm trying to get my chat back over onto the screen over here so that I can see it and still look forward. There, now click the right click OBS to show next to it like it should have been. Oh, there is our problem. We're having a little bit of drop frameage tonight. Oh, that's not good. It's less than 3%, so hopefully it's not bothering anyone. Seriously. We're smoking over here nicely, so that means we should be able to get going here. A wee blip of... Hi, Ozzy. Thank you, so. Just salt and pepper on the other side here. Ooh, so getting it. While those are searing, I'm going to take a little time here and use a spoon to, wrong drawer, peel off a little bit of this skin on this ginger. I don't know how to hint that word. I looked what it was. Like, my only hint, like, basically gives it away. Reminds me of a place with a great aquarium. There you go. I was reading that and equating it to Monterey Bay, which it wasn't, but that's what was in my head. Monterey Bay has a decent aquarium, which also has a decent Twitch channel that you should watch. It's not on during my time, so, or it maybe overlaps by 30 minutes. I will say not all of their stream days are great. What they do is they have sort of like webcams all over the aquarium and different exhibits, and they show a different exhibit different days. And so like certain days they'll just show the otters all day, which is awesome. But other days there's like a seaweed cam or something like that where you're just sitting there with the seaweed going back and forth. So some of them are good, some of them are eh. But if you're looking for something chilled midday, US, highly recommend. They have a penguin exhibit that they show some days. They have an ocean cam. They have a large, like, Shark Tank that they show occasionally. But, yeah, it just sort of... So, but some of them are, eh. Other ones are pretty nice. I actually can think of a couple of museums that should be doing this, and I'm like, why aren't you doing this? In my mind, like, the money, even minor money coming in from Twitch is going to cover you throwing up a webcam on an old PC that's already there. It's... And in the same case as Monterey, but it doesn't even have to be, like, monitored or watched or, like... Turn the heat down here a little bit. And do we do any onion in with this? Do I have an onion already half cut and nope. Okay. Yeah, let's do a little onion with this. A lot of cities that way these days. They just too big. They're getting bigger. I lived in LA for 3 years, and I feel like I didn't even scratch the surface of things to do while I was there. I never ate at Pink's. I'll use half of this. Turn the flame back on over here with a touch more oil. Yes, hockey is definitely a sport that's best viewed live. It's actually sort of the opposite of basketball. So if you actually look at the numbers and the sales of things, despite the NBA being incredibly more popular on the street and being well more known, especially on TV, NHL outsells it in ticket sales. Everyone watches the NBA on TV. Well, people go to watch hockey games. Also, it's probably why you always see all sorts of celebrities and stuff at the bottoms of the seats there. They want to, say celebrities are there. Come get a ticket. You have a chance to see a celebrity on top of the game that you can't see from the third series story. Same with baseball. Like, I don't think hardly anyone other than diehard baseball fans watch baseball on TV. It's a wonderful event to go spend a lazy afternoon. getting my booze ready here. These little bottles are not great for pouring in. It's not really great to pour any bottle directly into a hot pan. So we're going to find something else that we can transfer these into first. How about that? That works. Nice. Love a live baseball game. Awesome. All right, we're adding this in here. Turn the flame way down low so I can take a second and cut up this ginger. All right, throw the ginger in there. Throw the chicken back in there. All the juice from the plate the chicken was on. And our root beer. Welcome and go. Leaving the, normally I would have the challenge ingredient out so everyone can see it. In tonight's case, it's not 100% cold. So we're leaving it in the fridge so that I can have a cold root beer float later. Thank you for your understanding. All right, so we'll let that cook down for a bit. Actually, we're going to add even more pepper in there. Start prepping some taters here next. Yeah, go to PTZ camera. One of a couple of them I've gotten here. But the other one isn't on tonight. I don't turn this one on nearly very often. It's old. Hi there. I'm surprised you haven't panned to go look at your other product. You normally look at you like looking at your other camera. That's gonna be good. Cooking streams are a little bit of a different animal. I would argue a fair percentage of them are not full-time. There's a few of us. Most of us need some sort of like niche to be doing it, like to plan menus on a regular basis, to do all of the prep work on a regular basis. It's I don't know if this is just my experience, and this is like most streamers get this experience, but I feel like a large percentage of other streamers are sort of like drive-by streamers. Like they come by to say hi, hello, and you know, I'm a streamer, you know, share your audience. Which, awesome streamer, different time, awesome. The thing is I think so many people do that in food and drink as just like drive-by. They come in and they do like one stream a month, so they're like a food and drink streamer. Like, now if you're putting like serious planning and serious dedication work into that one month, but yeah. As far as streaming, largely entirely just cooking. I would say 98%. I don't do much chatting as far as stream either. I'm largely I'm here cooking. But I have done a Minecraft stream or two. I've been playing City Skylines 2 lately, but I haven't been streaming it. Bit of sunflower oil on our potatoes. Salt. MSG. Oven heating to 400. Pepper. onion. This is really the only non-garlic or non-root beer dish in the night. I'm just roasting some potatoes with some seasoning on them. So, onion, garlic, salt, pepper, MSG. Let's do some cayenne. And, well, is that going to work with everything else here? Screw it. We're going to do some cumin. And give those a swirl. Pan and parchment. Spatula's buried. Just dripping the last of the seasoning and the oil over the top that was in the bowl. Set those aside until we're ready to start roasting those. Actually, we can start roasting these. They're only going to take 40-ish minutes. Chicken's bubbling nicely. We're going to turn that down a little bit here. Smells like I keep wanting to say barbecue. I keep wanting to say just about anything but root beer tonight. I don't know why. I just tried to say barbecue instead of root beer, and I was trying to say something earlier instead of root beer. Brain, get with it. Well, let's clean up some cauliflower. So we want these battered and fried size. So we're not going very large on our clusters tonight. I don't know how many of these I'm doing either. I don't know if I need to do this whole head of cauliflower. I certainly don't need that much fried food tonight. I think that's a good batch of cauliflower for a small frying project. So we gotta cook these down until they're nice and soft and break apart. We're fully cooked at this point, and I could sit here and break them all apart. I want to cook these a little bit more before we get there. I'm sort of counteracting what I said when I started talking about this, because these are cooked a bit further than I anticipated. These are pretty well done now. A little bit longer though. We got these ready to go. Let's season these, and then let's make up our batter. Just quick midstream clean of the bowl here, not a serious cleaning. Please don't think that that was how I clean everything. Oh, we're just going to do it all in the batter. We're going to do it all in one. All in one. add some root beer to this project. I want to shake this. I don't know the acidity of root beer, commercially produced root beer. And some flour. So chat, do I go yellow chili curry powder or red curry powder with the root beer batter for cauliflower? That's close. Give it a little more flour. I think I'm gonna go with yellow. Garlic. Salt. Pepper. Set a timer for those potatoes. All right. Final mix up here of our batter. Want it nice and not completely thick, but thick enough that it's gonna stick to cauliflower long enough to make it in the oil. Harden. Egg's gonna help it seal to everything and give it a little bit of extra bubble. Root beer's giving us a little bubble. Most of that's been worked out already. I'm not a big fan of a lot of these recipes that use CO2. Baking recipes that use CO2 to leaven. Because most of them, there's a few that it works okay, but the majority of them, like, it's already bubbled out into the batter before you're even making it into the oven, much less. Turn the flame on our oil and start heating that up. Give these a toss. Make sure they all get nicely coated and get all the stuff all down inside of them. And drizzle it all in there. Get all those nooks and crannies. Nooks and crannies reminds me of English muffins and makes me want to make English muffins. I like making English muffins. My biggest problem with making English muffins is typically you have to make too many of them for one person in a batch. Like even if you're doing them and you're keeping them for breakfast for the week or something. You would think it was hot in here or something. It's not even hot. No ice cream fans in chat, huh? It was a scramble hint, they can see me. I do have ice cream later tonight, though. I mean, you can't have a proper root beer float without some ice cream. I wish I could go with Strauss's vanilla, but it's the, like, actually across the board, like, their actual ice cream bases are pretty amazing from Strauss, but I don't like really any of their ice creams. And their vanilla is, I like French vanilla, and so I typically go for French vanilla. Maybe my dad's influence on me. He always loved French vanilla. So we have French vanilla from Tillamook tonight for my root beer float. But I wish I could get Hey, Sniper. Yep, Scramble's back. I've already given the hint that of ice cream with the scramble. Tillamook's a decent brand. It's just coming from way up north. I'd much rather have local if I can. Like, Strauss is a good product, they're a good company, and they're right here in Sonoma. Why do I want to buy stuff from, like, hundreds of miles away, regardless of quality? Like, Tillamook makes good stuff. I'm not saying that they don't. But why do I want to pay for them to ship it down here? And so I wish I was using Strauss ice cream. If we were doing chocolate, I would definitely be doing Strauss because their Dutch chocolate is amazing. I like that they have a lemon cookie and they've taken over that project from Three Twins when Three Twins went belly up. Their lemon cookie isn't nearly as good. It needs help. Again, lemon ice cream base, amazing. It's the fillings or lack thereof, or what they're made up of, or yeah. They're very much a dairy. Like, it's the fillings and the stuff that they're putting in there that are making it not as nice, aside from their chocolate. We got chicken bubbling. Like, we put this on a counter and I could tear this apart with a couple of forks if I wanted to rush things along. Oh, good. The packet loss seems to have, like, it seems like it's gone down in percentage, which usually means to me it's not continuing. The packets that were lost have already been lost. It's not increasing. Rare occurrence, but it does happen. I'm so frustrated. I tried to set up an alt account to test this idea that I had, this script idea that I had for streaming. And I think Twitch is trying to block me from doing the second account. Or they think it's someone trying to hack me, or... Because I'm stuck in this set. Well, this is a day or two ago when I was messing with this last, but when I tried to go and stream to test and debug things, it wouldn't let me, like, it was blocking me, my use of a stream key, while wanting me to enable two-factor authentication, which I had. I two-factor pretty much everything I have, or more. That said, I have a ton of unsecure passwords at the same time, too, that are just mostly for things that are, like... I'm pretty sure my epidemic password is all over the world. I should change that now that I've said that. I don't think people are actually using it. I don't think it's been stolen. Well, I just, like, out there on lists, no one using it, sort of a thing. That said, Epidemic did flag one of my videos, which is sort of annoying. Like, I'm paying you for a service and you're flagging my YouTube videos? Thanks. I guess they gotta protect their licenses against the people that don't pay them a monthly fee. Alright, I think we're going to take a little bit of an AFK here tonight. We got everything basically ready to go here, but we need to get the oil up a slight bit more before we finish all of that. And the potatoes can hold. We got about 15 minutes and the potatoes are roughly close to being done. Our chicken is close to being done. We just basically got our frying left for our cauliflower and putting our float together. So I'm going to take 10 minutes here, and I will see all of your lovely faces back here in 10.
Wow. Say, you gals think you're lucky you can get Swanson TV turkey dinners, but I say Swanson TV turkey dinners are a bigger break for husbands. Now, you take me. I can be early, I can be late, I can bring pals to dinner anytime I please, and get this, my wife never panics. She just takes Swanson TV turkey dinners from the freezing compartment of our refrigerator when I'm a little off schedule. Oh, and right you are, Jack. And that is because Mary Lou knows that she can have a swell dinner ready in just 25 minutes. Right. And talk about easy. Well, she just pops Swanson TV turkey dinners in a hot oven. You know, they're oven ready in individual heat and serve trays. With Swanson TV turkey dinners, you just heat and you serve big and hearty slices of moist, tender Swanson turkey with grand giblet gravy and special cornbread dressing and fluffy whipped sweet potatoes with golden Swanson butter and garden fresh peas with more butter. Mother Murphy, lucky me. My wife uses Swanson TV turkey dinners. And make your husband lucky, too. Get Swanson TV turkey dinners, Swanson TV fried chicken dinners, Swanson TV beef dinners from your grocer's big freezer.
What are you doing here? You ought to be outside with the rest of the kids.
This is where Thanksgiving really begins, isn't it, Edgar?
Well, now, if you're referring to the aroma of roast turkey, I concur.
No, Ray, I was talking about the kitchen. It looks like a real center of hospitality.
Did you say hospitality?
Uh-huh.
That's one thing we're always prepared for around here. Help yourself.
Wouldn't this be a good time for you and your guests to have Coca-Cola, too?
Yes, and Coca-Cola is so delicious, so refreshing, so tempting to any guest when you bring out those familiar bottles with tiny beads of moisture running down their frosty sides, assuring you that the Coke inside is really ice cold. And the good, the gracious, the friendly homes of America are always prepared for hospitality, not only on Thanksgiving Day, but every day, all the year around, no matter who comes to call or who happens to drop in. And one of the easiest, simplest, and surest ways in the world to be prepared for hospitality is to have plenty of Coca-Cola in your refrigerator, ice cold and ready to serve all the time. It's a wonderful way to say to folks, so glad you came. Welcome anytime.
Yes, sir. If you want real entertainment, the best place to find it is in front of a General Electric Black Daylight big-as-life television set. Sports, comedy, drama, news, music. Yes, they're all yours, merely at the turn of a dial. This model has a big 16-inch black rectangular tube that lets you see everything that the camera sees, true to life and as big as life. Sparkling contrast and sharp focus give you pictures of such clarity that you feel you're right there on the scene. The cabinet, designed and constructed by America's leading cabinet makers, fits gracefully into any type of room. Genuine mahogany veneers, hand-rubbed for lasting beauty and durability, are just one example of the painstaking attention to every detail, which makes this cabinet one that you'll be proud to have in your home. The precision engineering and careful assembly techniques used in making this General Electric Black Daylight television set are your assurance of television at its finest. See it in operation at your General Electric dealers tomorrow. And when you see it, well, you'll know that you're seeing the best.
No, Jane and Ann aren't the crest testers here. Their daddy is. You see, Crest also showed it worked for older people like the Allbrands before it became recognized effective against cavities. Jim, when were you in this toothpaste test?
Back in college.
Let's show the story filmed at a recent reunion. Well, Jim, how did you become part of this toothpaste test?
The dentists at Indiana University asked us to.
Did many others join you in the test?
Quite a few. 246, as a matter of fact.
Did every one of you use Crest in this test?
We use Crest, their side, regular toothpaste.
Do anything special?
No, everyone brushed as usual for 2 years.
But your group had
34% fewer cavities with Crest.
You know what's happened since these tests, Mrs. Allbrand?
Well, a lot of us use Crest.
And Crest has become the only toothpaste recognized effective against cavities by the American Dental Association. Their Council on Dental Therapeutics reports Crest has been shown to be an effective decay-preventive dentifrice that can be of significant value when used in a conscientiously applied program of oral hygiene and regular professional care. What's your program, Mrs. Allbrand?
Wash between meal treats, brush often, and have regular checkups.
And use Crest, of course. Crest with Fluorostan, the only toothpaste recognized effective against cavities.
3, 2, 1, blast off. She's up. Come in ideal countdown control. Ready for second launching.
Atlas moving into position.
Fuel her up.
All set.
Count down.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off! There she goes!
Yes, you can be in command of your own ideal countdown. It's a real electronic missile base. You sit at the controls and move missiles into place. You count down. You blast off. You track the flight. The ideal countdown comes complete with moon missile and lunar probe, as well as the giant Atlas. Get your electronic ideal countdown now, wherever good toys are sold.
It's a wonderful toy. It's ideal. Daddy! Gee, Mom was counting on that Jell-O cake for Johnny's Scout meeting tomorrow. Okay, Daddy. It's so easy to make a cake with Betty Crocker cake mix. I'll make her another one. White cake, devil's food, yellow cake.
It's a good thing her mom's modern. I'm Betty Crocker. With my yellow cake mix, all you do is add water and a couple of fresh eggs. The other ingredients are in the package. Same fine things you'd use right in your own home. You'll get a perfect cake just like this, or write General Mills, Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they'll send your money back. A high cake, a light cake, a better tasting cake.
And don't think it isn't. That's why Betty Crocker herself says,
I guarantee a perfect cake every time you bake, cake after cake after cake.
Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat. Rice-A-Roni, everybody's got the beat. Started out where cable cars play this song. Now tried at home because very long. Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat.
From San Francisco, famous for food, comes Rice-A-Roni, the exciting new side dish. Here at last is a welcome change from potatoes. Now you can serve Rice-A-Roni, a delicious side dish with meat, chicken, or fish. And you make Rice-A-Roni in minutes. Everything's right in the box. A packet of soup base, rice, and vermicelli that you brown in butter. Add the special herb-flavored broth, and in minutes, Rice-A-Roni. Fluffy, fragrant. A wonderful change from potatoes.
Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat.
If you've ever been to Venice, you remember the gondolas and the picturesque waterways. And you remember the food, too. Superb food, prepared with that very special Italian touch. The same special Italian touch that Chef Boyardee sauce with meat can give to your meals over here. Because the recipe for this tangy sauce has been brought over from Italy by this famous Italian chef. Chef Boyardee sauce with meat is made from juicy, sun-ripened tomatoes and tender, quality beef, simmered in a spicy sauce that makes a rice and cheese loaf, a casserole, or a spaghetti dish a real Italian-style dish. So when you'd like to add that special Italian touch to your dinner, do it with Chef Boyardee sauce with meat. Try Chef Boyardee sauce with mushrooms, too. Both are prepared from the chef's own Italian recipe.
Better buy Bird's Eye.
Yes, always look for this Bird's Eye Bird, your guarantee of top quality frozen food. And your big Bird's Eye buy this week is Bird's Eye Orange Juice. Easy, you can serve it in a minute. Thrifty, it will save you money. Orchard fresh and delicious.
Better buy Bird's Eye. Better buy Bird's Eye.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Let's get the music going back again. I turned off the chicken during the break. It had finished cooking down beautifully. Looking almost dry there, but once we break that up and toss it all together, I think this is looking good. It's smelling good too. This is making the house smell like root beer right now. We still got 3 minutes or so on taters until they're close to done. What's our oil temp at here? I turned this off for a little bit so that it didn't catch fire while I was gone. Because surprised I didn't stay in this room that entire time. What's the sauce? The chicken we've got chilling with reduced root beer, Fireball whiskey, onions and ginger. And then the chicken and everything in there was pretty heavily seasoned on top of that. Whole bunch of black pepper in there. Basically shooting for all of the spice and heat I can go for without actually going to hot peppers or some hot sauce. And ginger's gonna add heat. The cinnamon and the booze are gonna add heat, all the way across there. Looks like we're going to be ready with our potatoes at the exact same time we're ready with to start frying. I've even made my own Dijon. That's down here. I'm not going to get it out. I'm getting water out. I do apologize. Overlays are still not working properly tonight. Cheers. I honestly haven't watched if anyone's redeemed hydrate, but I don't suggest you do it because it's not going to be nearly as impressive as it should be. Yeah, it's going to be almost perfect. We're 3:30 in the oil and 40 seconds left. Ooh. This scramble's gone before you even see it. Let's take a look at the condition of our taters. Taters are done. Turn the heat off there. Oh, there is a very well-known word in there. Goat. WB goat. Apologize, my settings right now. I'm sort of squinting in order to read my screen up there right now. Nope. There's some really long ones too. Like this is not a long word in the scramble. There's about 2,600 words in the dictionary for the word scramble at this point. I wrote about 1,600 of them myself. $3.50-ish there. I guess we don't have any milk fans in chat. I've had people tell me that the big words are easier because, like, there's less things that it's likely to be. Alright, going in with some of our first... I'm going to do at least 2 batches here. Actually, that was the wrong thing to reach for. I'm still going to use these later, but should have grabbed this. I'm obviously not going to nail perfectly. This is not a practiced recipe. If this were a practiced recipe, I would know, the size of this cauliflower, how long it's going to take to cook here. I'm mostly going to go off of the color here. These are starting to look beautiful in color. And so I think this is about time we start going with them. But yeah, let's go with these. And so, since we got time on our side right now, bit of fine salt over those. since we got time on our side here with everything, the potatoes are done cooking, but they're just chilling in the... Hey, JK. Let's give one of these a shot and see how much it wants to burn my hand and my mouth. Welcome, Mem. Yeah, that was hot. Tasty. 80% of the way there. Like, yeah, 80% of the way there. How's our oil temp over here? We 400 over here. Let's go in with round 2. Ooh. Splashing oil, not a good plan. Cutting the heat on that now and turn the flame off. That way you don't have to worry about the flash over nearly as much. Oops. Sorry I didn't show you the close-up on the frying. They still have some definite, like, you can sort of tell that that's still cauliflower originally. It's not entirely just poofy. Like, we've got a thin enough batter, but it's still nicely coated. It's not sloughing off of it. I would not say this is the crispiest batter I have made. But then again, that's sort of most beer batters are. This is a root beer batter, but it's basically a beer batter using root beer instead of beer. Salt. Oh, everyone should know this word. Who got it? Goat. That's broken up enough, I think, for a couple sandwiches. Close up on the chicken. Okay, dinner plate. I thought I bought some. I guess I'll cheat. I'm apparently out of mayo. I thought I had a container of mayo. With a lack of mayo, I'm going with Chick-fil-A sauce. What's local time for me? It is 6:20 in the Pacific time zone. Roasted taters on the oven there. We can turn the fan back off, actually. What can I use that I've already dirtied to move these potatoes? Got some roasty toasty other sides here to what we're doing. It's a fried food splatter tonight. Now for the fun part. I've tasted the cauliflower. The cauliflower are nice. I tasted the cauliflower more to see that I was actually cooking them through in the oil. A splash of Jaeger in there. I am honestly doing this more for the effect to see with the little bit of Jaeger in there with the root beer as a float, if it's going to work. So far, the ice cream has sealed its way down to the bottom of the glass. The soda's working its way there. It's not quite there yet. There we go. That's going to require a topping off, but I think that looks pretty good to start. So we'll swap these around on the cutting board and take a photo or two. Oh, come on. I don't want to spend forever taking photos. Let's get the carousel out of here for a moment. All right, we're starting with this. This is all foam. This is like half foam. Yeah, that needs more root beer. Wish I had a thick, heavy glass to freeze some of that foam. I tried to breathe it. It keeps getting in my beard, too. Or a mustache. Yum, 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 yum. Taters. Tried and true recipe. Chicken, I'm relatively certain, is amazing. I have not tried this, actually. But let's give that, even without the brioche, a shot. Peppery, gingery. It's got this building heat to it, but it presents itself like basically as sweet to start. You can tell the root beer is there, but it's not like it's root beer chicken. I think that's delicious. I think this dinner turned out amazing. Other than it's perhaps too brown. Which is a problem with a lot of delicious food. A lot of delicious food is brown. Alright, so what you're seeing there tonight, our root beer ingredient challenge tonight, we've got a root beer reduction braised chicken thighs, boneless, skinless thighs, along with a whole bunch of ginger and a whole bunch of Fireball whiskey. So you got cinnamon, you got ginger, you got root beer, you've got a whole bunch of flavors in that same area. I added a whole bunch of black pepper in there. We got some traditional oven roasted taters and root beer battered cauliflower with some curry powder and some other lovely seasoning, finishing things up with a root beer float. Thank you for joining in, everyone. Friday, we're doing fettuccine alfredo with broccoli. Perhaps with entirely too much broccoli, because I have bought and have entirely too much broccoli in this house right now. And I have cauliflower left over on top of it. So that is the plans on Friday night, starting 4:30 Pacific as usual. I start 4:30 Pacific like clockwork. What else we got coming up on the calendar? Fettuccine Alfredo first Friday. I will be streaming during the Super Bowl. There is a menu in the calendar. You can look in the calendar to see what it is. Next Monday, we're going to be after the Super Bowl. I'm going to be doing Marry Me Chicken Orzo style. So maybe I'll work spinach, or maybe I'll work broccoli into that too. Typically it's done with spinach. But I just have too much broccoli. And we got the ingredient challenge vote already going in the Discord for next week between ketchup and pesto. Would you like to see me make dessert with ketchup or pesto next week, chat? I hope you all have a great finish to your week. It's half over. You have that going for you. I wish you all the best. I hope to see you back on Friday. Good night.